Hello everybody, just finally tracked this woman down. I was tracking her all over the world there for a while. She was in Hollywood, France, London. She wasn't taking my calls anymore. Thought she'd, do you know what I mean? Thought she'd dumped the Grapevine, but no. She finally agreed to come down to do an interview in the Grapevine on Lurgan Computer Hospital offices here. And it's great to see you, Shelley. So, all joking aside, you've had some couple of months there, and I suppose really starting off with Jude Hill in the film Belfast. You've done an interview with me for the Grapevine, which was just about your own career and stuff like that, and you know, this Shelley Lowry School of Speech and Drama, and you dropped the hint, says there's something big coming, but we didn't realise how big it was. That one of your students will be co-starring, which is probably going to be the biggest film this year, and so wee bit about that.
Well, yes, very proud of Jude Hill, and we also represent Lewis McCaskey, who plays Jude's brother, Kenneth Branagh's brother in the film, and yeah, it's just been fantastic. The film itself is brilliant. Can't wait for you all to see it. 21st of January out in cinemas here in the UK and Ireland. But it's already had its theatrical release across the world. So the reason why it wasn't released here until the 21st is because of what they call the awards corridor. So there's a lot of campaigning going on for Oscars and things. But Jude is amazing in it. He deserves all the praise that he's getting. And Sir Kenneth Branagh has made a beautiful film, a fabulous cast: Jamie Dornan, Judi Dench, Kieran Hines, and Katrina Balfe. So some stellar names there, like.
Absolutely. What do you call I should have had the red carpet out here, really.
Yeah, a bit disappointed actually. yeah, but you know.
So you got a mug of tea, but you know, look, that. Just when you put it like that there, we bit taken back for words there. It's not like me, but I was following you obviously on Facebook.
Yes.
And she's in Hollywood with Kenneth Branagh. She's here. But what was that schedule like? And what was happening, or what? Do you know what I mean?
So one of the producers of the film, who I would call a friend now, she's a lovely lady, had said that I should go out to LA with Jude whenever he was doing his press. And I was really delighted that that Focus, the company who's distributing the film, agreed and said to come along. So I was able to go to all the press interviews, all the events with regards to the publicity around the film with the cast. So I was there to keep an eye and safeguard Jude, of course, because he is only 11, and his mum Shawneen, to lend some support to her too. But honestly, she's just made for this as well too, as much as Jude is, because she's so professional. She knows what she's doing and took it all in her stride as well.
Yeah.
But it was great to go to like events at cinemas where there was a Q&A, and you know, you're sitting there, and just before you go in, you're having a chat with Kenneth Branagh and Jamie Dornan. Like, they're just talking to you, just like you and me. They're just people, like, at the end of the day, you know.
But what do you call? I believe it was at some point Ken told you just to call him Ken.
Yes, yeah. Well, do you know, whenever Sir Kenneth Branagh hugs you, you know, and you don't, you know, you're talking about being lost for words. You're like,
Surreal.
you know, it's
Surreal.
unbelievable. You know,
Yeah.
and yes, he's just another person, but he's at the top of his game, and he has been for a long time. He's so talented, but he is the nicest. And this is one thing. Those guys are at the top of their game for a reason, and it's because they're consummate professionals. They are lovely, warm-hearted, caring people, and everything they do with a heart and a half. I was made to feel welcome just like anybody else, you know, and that's the thing about it. I think that's why they're so successful, and they will continue to be. The team that surrounds them are so professional.
Yeah.
So yes, but yes, when Ken offers you his popcorn, you know, when you're like, is this my life? You know what I mean?
Going to say something really bad there, because you know you're in a mess.
You know, don't do it.
But anyway, but having said that, right? You told me one thing when we were doing the wee bit of prep for the interview that really struck. Probably, you know what sort of a fella that Kenneth Branagh is, that he was constantly asking about the boy.
Yeah.
Is the boy okay?
Yeah.
You know, is there anything need? You know, he was obviously talking about Jude Hill.
Yes, yes.
And that to me reflects, as you say, what a gentleman he is and what a good man he is.
Really, that's at the premiere of Belfast in Belfast the Belfast Film Festival. He was talking to everybody in the room, but he made a point of coming over to me and saying, you know, Shelley, it's really important that we look after our boy, look after the boy, and you know, he cares so much about his well-being, and you know, so it just goes to show you what sort of a person he is. He's a good heart.
But but also shows that I think probably Kenneth Branagh is aware how big this film is going to be and how life-changing it's going to be, possibly.
Yes.
For Jude in a brilliant way, and it's good that there's somebody as grounded as yourself there to help with his progress as an agent, and that probably within the film industry there is a recognition of maybe, you know, child stars in the past and some of the difficulties they had, and you know, everyone's cognizant of that, and that, you know, that he's being looked after, and no better woman than yourself as well to do it. And but again, you know, it's a reflection. It's great that it's a success for yourself and that you're an agent now to a Hollywood actor, and you're making more contacts in Hollywood, and there's other, we'll talk about later on, there's other of your actors that are acting in big productions coming up, but it's reflective of the fact now that Northern Ireland and Belfast now has a very strong movie industry.
Oh, it does, yeah, and the cast or the crew here available for producers coming in, you know, is fantastic. There's been such a change over the past 10 years or so, and so much investment here and so much more opportunity for young people. It's really changed. It's so exciting, and Hollywood might seem like it's a million miles away, but it's really not. When I was out there, I was having meetings with people, United Talent agents and managers for Jude, and to make those connections for Northern Irish people. They're really aware of what we're doing here. They know the talent that's here, and so it's not a million miles away anymore. You know, but back in the day when we'd have been watching TV, you know, and you know, you'd have thought it was like the promised land, you know. But honestly, it's closer than you think. It's a
possibility, and maybe not, you know, obviously Hollywood is the pinnacle, and, you know, and all that. But there's lots of big British productions happening here, lots of big Irish productions happening here. There's opportunities for within the industry, not just for actors, but for cameramen, soundmen, technicians,
producers,
artists, graphic designers.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's absolutely huge, and again, it's a product of peace. Basically, we wouldn't have seen it. People may go, well, things aren't perfect and all the rest, but you wouldn't have dreamt of that sort of thing when we were growing up, and it's very much a product of thankfully the peace that we have now. And but there's a production that your school is involved in, which is about the bad old days, and
we're not necessarily the school's involved in. One of our actors.
One of your actors.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Nugent.
Kevin Nugent, yes. Kevin Nugent is one of our actors, representing him now for about a year or so. He's in a film called The Reevy Brothers, along with Dylan Llewellyn from, you would know him from Derry Girls. He plays James in Derry Girls.
Yeah.
And it is having its premiere next week. It is, all the screenings of it that have been scheduled are selling out so quickly. It's a film written and directed by the Reevy Brothers' nephew John Reevy. And they're going to have Q&A after the film, or before, I'm not sure, before or after the film, with victims of the Troubles, etc. Just, but the great thing I think about this film is that it's a positive thing, and it's a story. These stories need to be told, and I think to deal in the healing process, etc. I think
it's a positive thing, I suppose, that as well as that, because there is a film industry here, that although we've a bad story to tell, it's a story that we need to tell, and we all need to tell each other. But at least we can tell it ourselves. At least we've got the skills and the talent and the infrastructure and everything else that we can tell our own story from whatever perspective. And there's lots of different perspectives on the story. We're not going to get into any of that, but it is a positive thing that we can tell our own stories. We can and telling our own stories is part of it, as you said, is definitely part of a healing process. So as well as the job opportunities and the opportunities to maybe make it to Hollywood, there's an opportunity to tell those stories, and and that's it's a fantastic thing. And sorry, I've rambled on there.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
It's not like you to ramble, Courtney. Like
no, not at all. I done an interview last night. I want to apologise to the guy that interviewed. Kieran Lowry, he's a fantastic singer. His YouTube songs would get 500,000 hits and stuff like that. And I've done the interview on Zoom, and that's where I wanted to get you down, because Zoom was okay for lockdown, but it just couldn't.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. You know what I mean? And when I finished it, because I'd done a couple of interviews down here with Tommy Coleman from the Clan and stuff, and I'd done a couple of interviews here. That's why I hate Zoom now. Zoom was okay when you had to do it. You know what I mean? So when I finished the interview with Kieran, I was like, no, I'm not putting that out there. It has to be done. It has to be done live. So you know what I mean. So
it is different.
Yeah, and there was a lot of sort of I suppose a lot of the contacts and a lot of work was done relating to the film as the agent for Jude would have been done through Zoom. Yeah. And that presented difficulties. And did you find it better then when you were?
Oh, there's nothing replaces being in the room with somebody, because Zoom, you lose a wee bit of the energy and the connection, and it's hard to read facial expressions sometimes as well too, and there's a delay sometimes, isn't there? Yeah. But whenever when we got out there, it was lovely to meet all those people that I've been talking to on Zoom or on conference calls and things. It was wonderful to be in the room with them, hugging them, people that you didn't know them.
So Kay was sort of like, Shelley, just can you let Ken go there? Alright, okay.
But do you know what's so interesting you're saying about the Zoom it's been great to connect with everybody, but really we had a concert there just before Christmas, and I was explaining to Amy that the children, I'd never seen so much stage fright in 20 years I've been teaching, and there were so many children with stage fright, and I was like, what's wrong? Why is everybody so? And I was like, Zoom, really, and I haven't been with anybody, and I haven't been on. So now, thank goodness, by the end of it, big smiley faces, happy. But there was more tears this time around before we went on stage than I've ever seen. And that's why those events are so important. In-person live events are so important, because we have to connect with each other, which is why it's great that you do the Lurgan Grapevine, because it's all about connecting with people, and it's really important. But nothing replaces this sort of interaction.
It's a wee small, as well as the Grapevine's called the Grapevine because part of it is that I wanted to make connections and for it to be used by people to make connections that help them, as well as being just an entertainment or our good news page is what it is, right? But it was to kind of help people to make connections, the Lurgan Grapevine, for Lurgan people to help each other make connections and get talking, or here's who can do that for you. you're on one hell of a grapevine now, Shelley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, it's always like, but it's bound to be a huge opportunity for you as well. You know that you're now within that grapevine of the big players and big.
I don't take the responsibility lightly with that either. You know, the whole point for me is to be able to provide those opportunities that we didn't have.
Yeah.
For young people coming up and for established actors, you know, to make those connections where we can, where they're relevant, etc. But that was the whole point of me going out there as well to LA, to be there and safeguard Jude, of course, but to make connections for other Northern Irish actors coming up through. And yeah, it is a wonderful opportunity, not just for me and for the talent agency and the school, but for anyone who's interested in this kind of thing. You know, we're going to try and make the most of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And is there ever, I know this is not part of the script here, and we don't really script these anyway, so we'll just put them on the spot here. Right, we'll have a loose, here's what we'll talk about, but is there ever an element of flip with these opportunities, with a Shelley Lowry just down the road, of, you know, wish I had those contacts, or when you were maybe thinking of going into acting, or
Yeah. Do you know, well, that's the thing. I think that being able to provide the opportunities for actors, any success that they get is we consider it to be ours. I say we because Miss Amy McVeigh is over here as well too.
She wouldn't join in the camera.
She wouldn't join in. She's beautiful. I don't know what the problem is.
The camera's going to be pointed at her soon.
But you know, she's
sitting there with, she was 40 today, so we get her there. I'm going to start up. We will be talking to her.
Yeah, we'll be talking. But yeah, whenever we get an email through to say that one of our actors has got a job, we are so excited. It's like a competition between us to see who's going to email them first. Can I email them? Because we celebrate in their success. And whenever I was younger, yes, you know, I wanted to be an actor. You know, it was the thing I really, really thought I was destined to do. But life took me in a different path.
Well, the thing about it is,
No, I'm here to support other actors, you know. No. Is it you angling for an audition? Is this where this is going?
No way. The word's not ready for me. I love football. I was no good at football, so I was an average footballer, and I enjoyed my football, and I love coaching players. As you say, it is the same joy. It's genuine, and that's why I'm saying I'm not going I'm messing when I'm saying I know there's bound to be a wee bit I wish it was me, or I know there's not, because I am a coach and I understand that. But unlike me, I can't be a footballer even if I was good enough at my age. But you know what I mean?
You keep saying this about Helen Mirren. You keep calling me Helen. It's just blonde hair. That's it. No. The thing I get the most joy and satisfaction out of is knowing that I am supporting people in achieving their dreams and achieving what you know, those opportunities. That to me, that's more than me doing. And I did my bits. That's how I met Kenneth Branagh in the first place. I did Ulster Youth Theatre, and he was the patron, and I met him way back in 1992. And you know, so I've done. You know, I'm happy.
So you put me in my boxer, and what do you call it?
And you know what? See, if I get to do these interviews every now and again, that just is fulfilling enough.
Yes.
Gordy.
That's it. You know what I mean? It's you know. Hollywood, Smollywood, you know what I mean? This is the learning grapevine at the end of the day, really.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what do you call it? I wanted Jamie Dornan, I believe, as you do, Shelley, you know, you don't beat around the bush for these things, you know, it's like, hang on a minute here, you're one with long yanking some of these chains, right? And he was posting about meeting Bono or something, wasn't he?
Yes, so when we were most recently in New York, and we were at the Museum of Modern Art, and we were there, and one of Kenneth's management team came over and said, do you know why we're here? And I said, oh, for a photographic opportunity with Jude. And she said, yes, with Bono and Jim Sheridan. And I'm like, you know, goodness gracious, fabulous. You know, it's like every day there was another pinch me moment. But anyway, so Jamie Dorling came in late, and Shawneen, who's Jude's mummy, said, oh, you know why we're here? We're here to get a photograph taken with Bono. He says, I've met Bono before, you know. And I said, well, I have too, actually, Jamie. And he said, where did you meet him? I said, well, I used to work on Top of the Pops. And he said, what? You used to work on Top of the Pops? When were you on Top of the Pops? I said, well, sort of 98, 99, you know, for a few years. He says, when I moved to London, I used to go to Top of the Pops every Thursday night with my friend who was in band One True Voice. I think that's what it was. And he said, I couldn't believe it. I can't believe you worked at Top of the Pops. This is Jamie Dorling said to me, I can't believe you worked at Top of the Pops.
Alright, Jamie, so you were like, alright.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
That was very funny. I was laughing away to myself. Very, very funny. And he said, the thing that made me laugh, he said, well, you know, when I used to go to the Top of the Pops, I used to think, I've made it, you know. That made me laugh all the more. Yeah. But yeah, he's so lovely, and I'm so pleased to see all the positive press he's getting with not only Belfast but the tourist and everything. You know, he's really
I mean to watch that there. I think the first episode was it last week or something?
Yes, you can get it on BBC iPlayer.
No, I've definitely, because I watched the fall, and with me, I was just
brilliant,
blown away by that.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually freaked out because I sort of binged watched it, and I was like walking around thinking like things were happening, like it was in the fall or something. I thought everyone was a serial killer. Alicia was watching with me. I was like, where are you going now? I'm just going out for an hour here.
Keep your windows closed.
I'll be back in an hour and a half. I can't tell you where I'm going. Brilliant show.
Oh, it was really good, really good.
No, so this lady here,
yes.
I want to point the camera at her because she wouldn't join in, you know. So you're working with Shelley?
Yeah.
The Nightmare or?
No, it's
Prima Donna, a bit nasty at times.
Not at all. Probably the most amazing job ever, to be fair.
And how long are you working?
From like 2 years, maybe now, 2.5 or something. Yeah. So Shelley actually taught me drama a good few years ago, and then I went off to London to study, and just decided Northern Ireland was the place for me at this point. So come back home, and we always kept in touch and everything, but then teamed up, and it's been the best thing.
What are you getting for your 40th? No, it's only a couple I had left here. So,
oh, that's fine.
So you're enjoying the work, and you're obviously celebrating some of the successes that are happening in a minute, and more too.
I wouldn't really call it work, to be fair. It's I always wanted to work like alongside someone. I didn't know that it would be someone so special as Shelley, to be fair. It's been so successful for me, and I'm so thankful to be on her team. So it's just
she's
amazing.
She's brilliant. She's great.
No, I had to get you in there because you know, I don't think Shelley suffers fools gladly, apart from myself now and again. And what I called, you know, if she's chosen you to be her lieutenant, you know what I mean. You must be good at what you do. And what about you in the acting? Are you give up on the acting? Or are you just gonna?
I keep trying to put her in stuff, you know.
And my mum says too, like, why don't you go for that? And I'm like, no, I'm in the background, Mum.
Yeah.
No, Shelley. I just love doing the agency. I love it's totally different kind of love from like acting or performing. I think I'm more fitted to this.
Well, when you said,
look,
when they say you're in a perfect job, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
You know, you so long may that continue as well. You're going to have to bring your seat over here so we'll get us all in on.
Yeah. But yeah, no, she's right. It's not like work because, you know, as much as there's a lot of emails backwards and forwards and a lot of admin and the contracts and the whatever else, and it is busy. But it's whenever you love it.
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have good, and we have lovely people on our books. We have lovely people at the school. We love teaching as well. We have a really brilliant first 3 days back now. We're back from Monday, and the young people are, they're there. They're excited to be there. That makes us excited to be there, and it keeps you young. I think. Yeah.
And when this lady was chatting at them, you were holding the fort. Is that right?
She was, yeah, and doing it really well. We have a great team of people there at the school as well too. Ellen and Diane and Noah and Ellie and Miss Amy. So there's a whole team of us, and so yeah, no problem. When you can go away and you feel confident that everything's going to be well looked after, then sure, that's brilliant, isn't it?
I have to say this, Shelley, are them Dorns behaving themselves?
Oh yes, they are. They're mostly it's the mum and dad that are occasionally a bit but I'm only joking. I'll kill me. No, they're wee dotes. And so talented, the children, so talented. They're your cousins.
My cousins, yep.
Yeah.
But they were kind of called. We would call us their uncles, aunties and uncles, my brothers and sisters, and that, you know what I mean? So
very talented. Emma was in a film there. Miss Blanet was in a film as well too.
Yeah.
So they're doing really well.
Miss Blanet.
I call her Miss Blanet. Yeah, Miss B. I call her actually.
They're behaving themselves, is what they're saying.
Yeah, they're really lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm surprised at it, but
yeah, but that family connection, yes, I suppose, yeah.
That's alright, that's good. No, the last question I have to ask you, Shelley, and you've been very evasive on this here, I must say. I think I mentioned it last week, and you wrote a figure on a page of how much it's going to cost to get an interview with Jude. And then you wrote this figure on the page, which I still got and photographed and stuff. And then I asked you again, and I was I need to think and all that.
But you're hilarious, by the way. So Jude and Shawnee would love to do an interview with you, but until all the press is done for the Oscars coming up and all the rest of it, they're very the Focus, the team that I mentioned before, are brilliant.
Yeah.
They have a jam-packed schedule of everything that he's that they think is great for him to do initially, but I know that Shawnee, she's a big supporter of what you do.
Absolutely, yeah,
and so she would be really delighted to come in whenever they've got the go ahead to do so.
No, look, this is a joke. I've known that, and there's no problem there. But yeah, you could do that back and all off. Well, brilliant meeting you again.
Yes, thank you for having us.
It's always good to see you. We're very old friends. Amy, lovely meeting you.
Lovely to meet you too. Thank you for having me here.
I'm sure there'll be another one the next time, probably just after the Oscars or something like that there.
Hopefully, yeah, that would be great. Any time.
You never know.
Always have time for you, Gordy.
You never know. All right, and we'll hit the button here, and we'll wrap on that note.
Bye.